Good everyone, my name is Graphics. Today we want to solve some problems in calculus, and it's under what? Limits. Now the first one says that the lim of x tends to 0 into bracket 3x cubed plus 4x plus 2x divided by x squared plus 5x. So let's see. Let's write it out. So this is what we have here. Now let's see how we'll do this. We're told to find the limits of x tends to 0, 3x cubed plus 4x plus 2x all over x squared plus 5x. The first thing you will do in this kind of question is that what? Input your limits. Input the variable, right? Input it in here. Now we say the variable x tends to 0. So let's put it in and see. So anywhere you see x, you put 0. So that will now be, let's see. Now when you put the 0, this is what you're having. So instead of writing my x and I say x is 0, I place 0 here. X is 0, I place 0 here. X is 0, I place 0 here. So I place my 0 everywhere I find x. Now we know that 0 multiplied by any finite number is 0. And 0 raised by any finite number is 0. So this will make 0, this will be 0. Here will be 0, here will be 0, here will be 0, and here will be 0. So let's see. And this is what we have. Because I said 0 times any finite number is 0, and 0 raised by any finite number is 0. So this is what we have here. So in doing that, we are going to be having 0 all over 0, right? Now this is undefined. So whenever you have 0 over 0 is what? Undefined. Or you say it is what? Indeterminate. So you say that since right, it is undefined, hence we factorize, right? So since it is undefined, then you what? You factorize. So that means this is not what you ought to do first. You have to do something else before you input your value directly. So when I factorize now, if you look at our question goes this way. We have the lim, right, of x tends to what? 0, and we have 3x squared x cubed plus 4x squared, there's a square here, plus 2x all over what? X squared plus 5x. This is what we have here, right? So this is our square here. So in doing that, if you look at this now, what's common here? X is common. So if x is common, it means that I am going to bring out the x that is common. So I'll put lim x tends to what? 0. I have my bracket, right? So since x is common, if I bring x out, it means that I'm going to divide through by x. If you divide x cubed by x, you'll be having x squared. So we'll have 3x squared remaining. Why is 3x squared remaining? Because I remove one x outside. Plus, if I remove one x from this x squared here, I'll be having just one x. That will remain what? 4x, right? Plus, if I remove this x here, here will remain what? 2. So everything divided by, if I remove one x here also, this x here remain 1. If I move one x here also, this remain what? 5. Now this is what I'm actually having. So if you look at this, since they are multiplying each other, both of them are multiplying each other, this will equate this. So we'll be left with the lim of x tends to what? 0 into bracket 3x squared plus 4x plus 2 all over x plus 5. So if I input my 0 anywhere I see x, now what am I going to be having? I'm going to be having 3 x is 0, so I'll be having 0, and there will be square there, plus 4x0 plus 2 all over 0 plus 5, right? So from here, if I move further from this aspect here, like I said earlier, 0 multiplied by any finite number or 0 raised by any finite number will give us 0. So the long run, we're going to be having 0 plus 0 plus 2 all over 0 plus 5. And 0 plus 0 is 0, and 0 plus any finite number will give you what? That finite number. So we have 2 all over what? 5. So my answer is what? 2 over 5. Now, the next question. For the next question here, we have lim x tends to what? Infinity, 3x squared plus 5x minus 1 all over 4x cubed plus 2x plus 6. So let's write that down. Now this is it here. It says lim x tends to infinity, 3x squared plus 5x minus 1 all over 4x cubed plus 2x plus 6. So what you should do here, whenever you see this sign here is an infinity sign, the next thing you have to do is to divide through both the numerator and the denominator, that is both the one up and the one down, divide them through by the x that has the highest degree. When I mean the highest degree means the x that has the highest power or the highest exponent. Now if you look at every of the variables here, the one up here has 2, a degree of 2, this have a degree of 1, this have a degree of 3, this have a degree of 1. So you take the one that has the highest degree, which is what? 3. So what I'm going to do is that what? I'm going to say divide through by what? By x cubed. Are we good? So if you do that, this is what you'll be having. Now this is what we're having. So I divide through by x cubed each of the values here. Now when you do that, we'll now be having the lim of x tends to what? Infinity. I'll open my bracket. Now you know when you have 3x squared all over what? S cubed. That is this first one here. It means that it is 3 multiplied by x, right? Because x times x is s squared. All over x times x times x, which is s cubed. So if this 2x equate this 2x, what's remaining? 3 over x. So I'm going to input my 3 over x at this point here. Plus, now I have 5x all over what? S cubed. So it will be like 5 times x. All over, this is like x times x times x, that is s cubed. So if 1s equates 1s, we're left with what? 5, right? All over s times s is what? X squared. So this will be what? 5 all over what? X squared minus 1 over what? S cubed. Everything divided by, now we know s cubed, you cancel out s cubed. We're left with what? 4, right? Plus, if you have the same thing, if you have 2x all over s cubed, is like saying 2 times x all over x times x times x. 1s will cancel 1x. We're left with 2 all over x times x, that is what? X squared. This we are saying 2 all over what? X squared. Plus 6 over what? S cubed. This is the first stage, right? So we move further. From here, anywhere you see your infinity, your x, you put what? Infinity. So we'll be left with, and when you start inputting your values, you will not write limit anymore. So say we have 3 all over what? Infinity plus 5 all over what? Infinity square minus 1 all over what? Infinity cube, all divided by we have 4 plus 2 over infinity square plus 6 all over what? Infinity cube. Now, one thing you need to understand here is that, recall, you need to know that any finite number all over what? Infinity will always give us what? 0, right? So, since I have 3 over infinity, it will be 0, plus 5 over infinity, it will be 0, minus 0, all over 4, plus 0 plus 0, right? And this is going to give us 0 over 4. And also, since we're having 0 over 4, also recall that 0 over any finite number, 0 over any finite number, right, is going to give us what? 0. Is that okay? So our answer here is what? 0. That is for that question. Now, if we move further to the next question, so we're having this, the third one, that says lim s tends to 2, s squared minus 4 all over s squared plus s minus 6. So let me rewrite that, and we're having this. This is what we have here. So now we input our value 2. That's the first thing you do. So when I put my value, I'm going to be having 2 squared minus 4 all over 2 squared plus 4 minus 6. 2 squared is 4, 4 minus 4 is 0. 2 squared is 4 plus 4 is what? 4 plus 4 is 8. 8 minus 6 is going to give us what? 8 minus 6 will give us 8 minus 6 will give us 2, right? So for that question, now if you look at this, this is 2, so this is supposed to be what? 2, right? This is supposed to be 2. So if you put it, 2 squared is 4 plus 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 minus 6 will give us what? To give us 0. And 0 over 0 is undefined. You write that what? This is undefined, or you say it is what? Indeterminate. This is undefined, hence we factorize. So we are going to what? Factorize. So if I rewrite this again, I'm having lim x tends to what? 2 into bracket, we have s squared minus 4 all over x squared plus x minus 6, right? So if we're factorizing this, let's move on. We are going to be having, now this is difference of 2 squared. I can rewrite this by saying x squared minus 4 is the same thing as saying s squared minus what? 2 squared. So there are two different squares subtracting each other, right? So it means that you take two of them, x minus 2, and you take another one, s plus 2. So you change your sign and write them in two different places. Similarly, if I have s squared minus 100, we know the same thing as saying s squared minus 10 squared. So since it's this, I'll take s minus 10, the first one, and I'll take s plus 10, the second one. So that is what we call difference of 2 squared. So this is what we're having here. So if I was to write this, I'm going to have something like this by saying the lim, right, of x tends to 2, open bracket, we have x minus 2, bracket, x plus 2. Now, the other one here is a trinomial, right? So what you do is, since the power of x is 2, means we have 2 value of x. Now, I'll have 2 brackets here. Is that okay? I'm going to have 2 brackets there. So the first one, there's x there. The other one, there's x here because the x has the power of 2. So I'll put a negative first here. So ask yourself, 2 value you multiply that will give you 6, that is 3 and 2. So I'll put my 3 and I'll put my 2, because if I subtract both of them, I will have 1. But now, we don't know the x here is positive, so that means this 3 will be what? Positive, because 3 minus 2 is 1. So this is the shortcut of doing this. Now if you look at this, s minus 2, right? So we are going to be having the lim of x tends to 2 into bracket s plus 2 all over x plus 3. And when you put your value, we're going to be having 2 plus 2 all over what? 2 plus 3. So our answer here will now give us this to be our value, 4 over 5. So that is my answer. So if you found this video helpful, please don't forget to click on the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.